When I was 6, I learned a simple 3-step process for beating fear and anxiety and accomplishing my goal no matter how scary the task was. When I was 6, I wanted to learn how to do a backflip more than anything in the world. I used to see my older brother do them and it seemed like fun, but I didn't know how to do it. He never wanted to teach me. So I said, screw it. And I ran into the backyard and I said, I'm going to teach myself. But the moment I got outside, I was met with like just this overwhelming sense of fear and anxiety, and I was paralyzed. I believe everybody has these thoughts, when you want to learn how to do a cartwheel or a backflip or things of that nature. Immediately you start thinking about, what if I break my arm? What if I break my leg? I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna lose a tooth. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be paralyzed from the neck down. I absolutely hated how that felt. I hated it. I hated how that felt. So I did the most amazing thing in the world, and I just jumped into it. I didn't at all land on my feet, but none of my fears came true either. And I developed a simple process for actively conquering fear and anxiety that later on helped me go way further than a backflip. I think by the time I was no longer interested in the sport, I was, doing front flips and back flips off of my grandmother's house. Step 1 of this process I call the leap of faith, or doing the do. As crazy as it sounds, the only way to get through it is to go through it. You have to take whatever this thing that you fear is and actively just do it. Now, the core thing to this is full acceptance of what may or may not happen. So an example that I just gave, when I was learning to do a backflip, I had to be willing to break an arm or to fall and lose a tooth. I had to be willing to get hurt in the pursuit of whatever this goal is. Now, the crazy part is the odds of that thing happening are slim to none. I guarantee you, whatever your goal is, it may not seem that way in the beginning, but the chances of these negative things happening are very slim. You just don't believe that in the beginning. And so there's 2 things that helped me with this. Was the first one, I used to count down to 0, starting at 5. And the moment that I got to 0, there was full acceptance of what may or may not happen. I determined that I want to accomplish this thing so doggone bad that I'm willing to accept whatever it is that I have to go through to win. And so when I get to 0, I'm going to do this regardless of what may or may not happen. You can also get an accountability buddy. For me, was my younger brother. He had the same issue that I had. He wanted to learn. Nobody was there to teach us. So we kind of kept each other in check. He made sure that whenever I got to 0, I actually did jump. And do not underestimate this technique or strategy or method. It's powerful. It can change your life. It can help. Step 2 is to just review the facts. Clear your mind. Think objectively. Separate facts from emotion. What actually happened? And so there's a couple questions. What happened? What didn't happen? And what did you believe would happen? Once I did the thing and I took a second to clear my mind and actually observe what happened after I did it, never did the thing I fear happening actually ever happen. For some reason, our mind takes our fears or what could possibly happen and just cranks it up to 10,000. This is why it's important to once you've actually done it, to take a step back and evaluate what is reality, what actually happened. Because oftentimes you'll see that. Perfect example for me is like when I did the flip, when I would learn to do a backflip as a kid, I just fell. I didn't scrape my knee, I didn't break an arm, I didn't lose a tooth. I got a little dirty, but that was about it. None of the things that I feared happening actually happened. And so what this does is it gives you power. It gives you permission to actually win, which goes into step 3, which is let the data form your new reality. Now you actually have data, because the nature of fear and anxiety is uncertainty. You're only afraid because you don't know what's going to happen, which is why once you do it, you observe facts, what actually happened, as opposed to what it is that I believed. Now you have the ability to win. And so for me, I just kept flipping. I did it again and again and again and again until I could do it every single time. I could do it in my sleep if I wanted to. That's how you do it.